everyone. This first listen recording is a slightly different format. Vlad has a special plan for me to listen to it. He is not allowing me to view the score, nor to know the name of the song ahead of time, nor to read anything about it ahead of time. All I know is that he has told me 3 specifics. One is, this is a song to which multiple artists contributed, participated in the creation, performance, something. He's nodding behind the camera. 2 is, it was inspired by the brave actions of some Bosnians to set up a beauty contest during the Sarajevo siege back in the 90s. And 3 is, unlike many of my recordings where I listen to a studio version for sound reasons, etc., he has chosen to have me listen to a live version. That is all I know. And with that, I'm going to listen. I'm not looking. He says don't look yet. So it's open, but I am not looking there. Watch my eyes. Do I look now?
Well, this is going to be a video recording of that live performance.
Should I do it with my eyes closed?
Okay, you will keep your eyes closed up to the point when you will undoubtedly recognize one voice. When you will recognize that voice without any shadow of doubt, then you open your eyes and you look.
Okay.
All right?
All right. Maybe you should press play for me.
I will press play for you, but remember, you might think you recognize a voice or the other, but you don't open your eyes. But when you're absolutely 100% sure, oh, I know who this is.
Okay.
And it's going to happen
So
just to help you
you're
out.
sure that I will know? You're sure that I will know who it is?
Just to help you out, it's going to happen in a split of a second. You will know.
Okay.
All right?
I will know?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
All right?
You have a lot of confidence in me.
Okay.
Okay.
Ready?
My eyes are closed.
Okay.
I'm ready.
I'm going to press play.
Is there a time for keeping your distance? A time to turn your eyes away? Is there a time for keeping your head down? For getting on with your day? Is there a time for coal and lipstick? A time for cutting hair? Is there a time for high street shopping to find the right dress to wear? Here she comes. Ooh, let's turn around. Here she comes to take her crown.
Dici che il fiume
take a crown? Is there a time to run for cover? Is there a time for kiss and tell? Is there a time for different colors, different names you find it hard to spell? Is there a time for first communion? A time for E17? Is there a time you take to Mecca? Is there time to be a beauty queen? Here she comes. Beauty plays the clown. Here she comes. Surreal in her crown.
Dici che il fiume trova la via al mare, e come il fiume giungerai a me, oltre i confini e le terre assetate. Dici che come fiume l'amore giungerà, e nell'amore non so più sperare, e quell'amore non so più aspettare.
Is there a time for tying ribbons? A time for Christmas trees? Is there a time for laying tables when the night is set to freeze? Draga, o sladka, slobodo, oljeba, o draga, o sladka, slobodo, oljeba, o draga, o sladka, slobodo. Grazie.
That was special. Have I heard his voice before too?
It's you too. It's Bono.
I thought I recognized it, but I couldn't put the name to the voice. But then when the second voice came, oh boy, I know that voice. I love that voice. Okay, am I supposed to read anything? Miss Sarajevo is a song by Irish rock band U2, and I guess I've listened to 2 songs by U2. I remember there's one and
All I Want Is You.
All I Want Is You. Okay, so that's why I thought that voice was kind of familiar. I was thinking I've heard this voice, but which artist, which band? I couldn't place it. So, by Irish rock band U2 and British musician Brian Eno, credited to the pseudonym Passengers. It was released on the 20th of November 1995 as the only single from their album Original Soundtracks 1. Italian tenor Luciano Pavarotti, that's the voice I knew, makes a vocal appearance singing the opera solo. The song was written about a group of women who held a beauty pageant during the siege of Sarajevo, which lasted almost 4 years. It was the longest siege of a capital city in the history of modern warfare. As an act of defiance, the song reached number 6 on the UK singles chart and was a top 10 hit in many other European countries. U2 vocalist Bono cites Miss Sarajevo as his favorite U2 song. Of the song's meaning, he said, "Everywhere, people had heard their call for help, but help never came. That was the feeling. I had tried to tackle subjects like this head on, but I had learnt a lesson. You have to try and make the same points in a different, less direct, more surrealist way." And clearly, he did a fine job of striking that balance. And that's something that I think a lot of modern artists have yet to learn. Sometimes when I hear of this celebrity or that modern artist jumping into some political hot topic and making a statement, I think, really? Are you doing the most you can towards a cause you care about by just commenting like a politician? I think that we artists have the power to have more impact towards the things we care about if we preserve our artistic integrity and use that as our means of communication and influence. I'm thinking, well, of course, there's this one right here in front of me, Miss Sarajevo. I'm also thinking of something like Roger Waters' The Wall. I think that album had a far greater impact and influence on far more people than his current political efforts. And I think that's something really important for all of us artists to remember. Pavarotti was very fond of the idea of a collaboration. Even before Miss Sarajevo was conceived, quote, he had been asking for a song. In fact, asking is an understatement. He had been crank-calling the house. He told me if I didn't write him a song, God would be very cross. Miss Sarajevo was first performed on the 12th of September, 1995, at the annual Pavarotti and Friends concert in Modena, Italy.
That's what you watched.
Oh.
That was the first performance ever of this song.
Oh, okay. Bono, The Edge, and Eno joined Pavarotti on stage with a complete orchestra to premiere the new Original Soundtracks 1 future single. Well, I want to go back and listen to it again. First of all, I want to see it from the beginning. Also, now that I am allowed to have my eyes open, I also have the lyrics here, and I was able to follow most of what Bono was singing in English, but now I have the translation of what Pavarotti was singing as well. So, let's enjoy this again. You know, it's kind of interesting to watch all of these famous musicians come out on stage, and, well, I've listened to Bono, I've listened to U2. Of course I know Pavarotti, I know him by sight. But it's kind of strange because I've listened to so many of the studio recordings of songs. I really don't know these famous pop rock modern musicians by sight. I don't know their faces really very much at all. So I see them coming out and I'm like, oh, okay. There must be somebody in there that I'm supposed to know, but I don't know who it is. Well, he was the singer, so that must be Bono. Quite a crowd. When I see a group ready to perform with instruments and the orchestra in the back and everything, the first thing I expect to hear is tuning, instruments tuning. And so as this music faded in, I didn't notice it so much the first time because I wasn't seeing, but here I was hearing a little bit somewhere and I thought, oh, they're tuning up. Oh, no, that's the music starting. And then it starts to grow and gently come to the forefront. Very nice, gradual introduction, but there was this funny expectation in my mind of hearing the orchestra tuning up. I like the guitar. It's
Is
so
there a time you keep on your distance? A time to turn your eyes away? Is there a time for keeping your head down? For getting on with your day? Is there a time for coal and lipstick? A time for cutting hair? Is there a time for high street shopping to find the right dress to wear? Here she comes. Ooh, let's turn around. Here she comes.
I was mentioning the power of the artistic expression to have an impact. And there are several things that strike me about this music. First of all, it's very gentle, very subtle, reflective, meditative. Even his voice, he's singing in a very soft, subdued manner. There's a sort of reverence to it. It's not subdued in the sense of being sad. It's more subdued as reverence and a sort of awe, a sort of respect towards what is being described here. Is there a time for keeping your distance, a time to turn your eyes away? Is there a time for keeping your head down, for getting on with your day? And then it changes. Is there a time for coal and lipstick? A time for curling hair? Is there a time for high street shopping to find the right dress to wear? And the first listen, when I had my eyes closed, I was thinking, this reminds me of that famous passage from Ecclesiastes, a time for everything under the sun, a time to eat, a time to mourn, a time to die, a time to live, and it seems like this is kind of taking that same approach. There's a time for everything, for keeping your distance. Yeah, there's a time to keep your distance. There's a time to turn your eyes away. There is a time to keep your head down and just get on with your day. There is a time to dress up and be extravagant and appear to be indulgent. And then suddenly it switches to, here she comes. And there's still that reverence and that awe in the voice, almost as if we are looking at, a bride entering. Here she comes. Heads turn around. Here she comes to take her crown. It's a queen. Well, of course, it's a beauty pageant. There's going to be a queen crowned, a beauty queen crown. And so the mix of all of these ideas and the kind of throwback to Ecclesiastes, which I believe was probably quite intentional as these lyrics were being written. How to present these ideas in a way that really puts them deep within us and causes us to pause and consider and turn our heads. Very beautifully, powerfully presented, and yet so gentle. And his voice is the perfect instrument to present these, because he manages to strike just the right reverent tone. Reverence towards what? Well, the way I feel it is there's a reverence towards these people, this courage, this act of defiance against war, of putting on a beauty pageant in the middle of a besieged city. I mean, what a choice of actions. And the spirit within those people who dared to do such a thing. And we have to look at something like that with a bit of awe.
To take a crown.
Dici che il fiume
And then this voice comes
trova la via del mare.
in. This adds a different quality to the music.
Giungerai a me, oltre i confini e le terre assetate. Dici che
I'm going to stop because I want to read the translation out loud so you can hear what he's singing. He's singing in Italian, opera style. But here's the translation. You say that as a river finds its way to the sea, and as the river you'll find your way back to me. Beyond the borders and the thirsty lands, you say that as the river, you say that love will find a way. But love, I am not a praying man, and in love I can't believe anymore. And for love, I can't wait anymore. Again, it's about context. It's also about artistic presentation of these ideas. Whoever put this music together didn't put that in English. Could have. They presented it in Pavarotti's, shall I say, native musical style, which is opera, Italian, classical, all of that. And yet the lyrics, think of the context. Think of what it's saying. I can't wait for love anymore. This is clearly a very well calculated, balanced, pointed, direct message towards the world for this situation. And I respect activists. I respect the people who go out and agitate and make commotion and make their voices heard. That has a place. But myself as a musician, as an artist, I have a deep appreciation for this kind of, shall we say, activism. It's more subtle. It's more, shall we say, sophisticated. But it also is incredibly powerful. And to me, it's very refreshing to see something like this put together for what was then a current political situation. Rather than going out and marching and chanting or making statements on, I guess they didn't have Twitter back then, all of those things. Putting a concert together with real substantive artistic content that attracts simply because of its artistic merits and also has a relevant, present message for the audience, for the world. Really impressive. And I have a great deal of appreciation for this kind of effort.
Dici che il fiume trova la via al mare e come il fiume giungerai a me oltre i confini e le terre assetate. Che come fiume giungerà.
Here she comes.
And as I'm listening to Pavarotti's voice and thinking about my impressions of Bono's voice conveying the reverence and the awe towards this site, I feel like Pavarotti's voice represents another element, and that is dignity. The dignity which these people carried with them in their difficulty, in their struggle. The dignity it takes to get up and make such a presentation in such circumstances. And so even the choice of voices, which ones were set with which set of lyrics, and how they work together. I'm kind of reminded of Brothers in Arms a bit. Not just by the voices, because if you have listened to my Brothers in Arms first listen, and the in-depth, which I believe was a separate video, I talked about how the voice and the guitar served as equal partners, but each one serving a different role musically, character-wise, in the story that's being presented. That's kind of what's happening here between the voices. We have Bono's voice and Pavarotti's voice serving different character roles in this presentation. And then we have guitar as well, which is also very gentle. And maybe that's another thing that kind of sends me back to Brothers in Arms, because there are things about it that remind me of that guitar in that piece of music. Isn't it interesting that both of these pieces of music, Brothers in Arms and Miss Sarajevo, are both dealing with a conflict, warfare, tragedy? Maybe there's a reason for that.
Here she comes. Heads turn around. Here she comes to take her crown. Is there a time to run for cover.
The strings in the orchestra, everything, I mean, okay, musically, the orchestral backing is very non-invasive. It's support and background and kind of the canvas on which this story is being painted for us. There are little things that stick out from time to time, like that piano, ding, 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 just little bits of instrumental commentary, interjection, color, texture, special moments to keep it from being just a bland soundtrack behind everything.
Is there a time to run for cover? Is there a time for kiss and tell? Is there a time for different colors, different names? You find it hard to spell. Is there a time for first communion? A time for E17? Is there a time you take to Mecca? Is there time to be a beauty queen?
These lyrics are incredibly powerful. Is there a time for different colors? Different names you find it hard to spell. Is there a time for First Communion? A time for East 17? Is there a time to turn to Mecca? Is there a time to be a beauty queen? Thinking back to this whole conflict, religion and religious differences played a huge part in the difficult situation that existed and the prejudices and conflicts between the nations, because Sarajevo is primarily Muslim. And so this line, is there a time for First Communion? Well, obviously that's talking about the Orthodox side of the conflicts, or Catholic. And then 2 lines later, is there a time to turn to Mecca? Well, that's talking about the Muslim side of the conflict. And so even though this is such artistically beautifully presented, we can enjoy it not even paying attention to the lyrics. It's a very special piece of music. It has a special sound to it, kind of this crossover of musical styles. Still, when we pay attention to what's being said here, the message is loud and clear that there should be time for everybody, all the colors, all the names, even names that you can't spell yourself because they're so foreign to you. And at the same time, this performance itself is contributing to that message in that, well, Bono is the rock music representation, that world, and then Pavarotti is the classical operatic world. 2 very strong musical traditions that have their own centers and their own styles and their own audience. And they come together and they work together to make this piece of music. It's sending not only the message that there is room for everybody and that there should be room for everybody, but also the message that everybody, regardless of your background, regardless of your color, your nationality, your religion, your musical preference, or any other division we might imagine, all of that, it is still important for us to come together as one and serve the needs of humanity. And, well, that's the message of this song. And it's beautifully presented.
Time to be a beauty queen. Here she comes. Beauty plays the clown.
Beauty
Here
plays the
she
clown.
comes. So
And of course, this image here, "Don't Let Them Kill Us," that's from the actual beauty pageant. But this line catches me. And this might even be my favorite line of the whole piece of music. Beauty plays the clown. Beauty plays the clown. We make, you think of the court jester, the one who makes a fool of himself for everybody else's enjoyment. Beauty plays the clown. You dress up, you make yourself look different than who you really are. Doesn't matter how your feelings are. It doesn't matter if you're crying inside. It doesn't matter if your child is dying. You've got to be the clown. You've got to go out and make people laugh. Here is beauty playing the clown. And such a simple 4-word phrase. Beauty plays the clown. To me, it just gives me so many different feelings and emotions and images in my mind all at once, coming from all different directions, that I find it incredibly pregnant with meaning and eloquent.
Surreal in her crown.
You say that as a river finds its way to the sea, and as the river, you'll find your way back to me, beyond the borders and the thirsty lands. You say that as the river, you say that love will find the way. But love? I'm not a praying man. And in love, I can't believe anymore. And for love, I can't believe anymore.
Is there a time for tying ribbons? A time for Christmas trees? Is there a time for laying tables when the night is set to freeze?
The strings in the background ascending, ascending, ascending. Oh beautiful, oh dear, oh sweet freedom.
Grazie.
By the time we get to the end of the song, and we hear, oh beautiful, oh dear, oh sweet freedom, we begin to wonder, is this about an individual looking for a beauty queen, looking to become crowned as the beauty queen? Or is the real queen of beauty here freedom? Oh beautiful, oh dear, oh sweet freedom. So many different ideas coming together here. And yes, it's clearly activist in its message and presentation. But respectfully so. At least I feel that way. And when us humans are able to come together and voice our support for various causes, even if we are on two different sides of the conflict, even if we feel very strongly against or for one side or the other, when we can present our message with respect, with appreciation and reverence for the side who, or sides, sometimes it's all of humanity who's in trouble, and for the others who perhaps oppose us, then we have the chance of resolving conflicts. A real chance of resolving conflicts, because we're coming with dignity and respect ourselves. We're not coming looking to fight, to destroy, to force our way against the will of others. And this piece of music is a fine example of one of the ways in which that can be done. It's not the only way. Certainly isn't adequate in and of itself. But every single one of us has some means or other to bring for the causes that we care about, and to offer in the service of those in need. Humanity, the weak, the underprivileged, the ones who are in dangerous situations, and we should all do what we can. I guess that's how I feel about this piece of music. You can hear that I appreciate it greatly. Well, this is the second song that I have sat down and deliberately listened to on this channel, which is a meeting point of two distinct styles. We could say grand opera and grand rock. I think I could say that. Grand opera and grand rock meeting together and joining hands to create something musical together without necessarily compromising their own styles and distinctive qualities. And not only am I not disappointed with the end result, but I have to say that I enjoy it immensely. It's delightful to listen to, and I appreciate what each of them brings to the table and how they have both times managed to create something just musically incredible, artistically incredible. And I hope that I will have more of these to listen to. I don't know how many of these kinds of pieces exist, but I guess there must be more than just two. So I'm looking forward to when I meet them along the way, and I guess you will get to see each experience as it comes. So, looking forward to it. I'll see you next time.